Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an AMX 1357. It's the Tier 7 French light tank and it's located on the north spawn of Malinovka and it's under the command of Leethalstylesz of Philox. Now, how's he going to do this battle? Normally, if you're in a light tank and you're on Malinovka standard, you're going to go bush. I would. It's the best thing about this game. You can just sit in the bush and collect a huge amount of spotting damage. And battle about to start and we're away. And he's off to the bush. Now you have to come around, skirt the edge there because you don't want to get seen right at the start. But he's got into a position. He's in the bush. He's almost fully immersed. He's actually turned himself around just so that if the enemy does spot him, he can make a quick getaway to the north. And he's got his first customer. It's a Leo, now Type 4 Heavy. And a T25-2. And a T26E4. So he's really spotting the enemy now. He's spotted quite a few. And he's picking up some damage assist. Or spotting assist, I should say. He's not highlighting the enemy. You need to use your T key to focus the team attention on the targets. Let them do the rest. Now he's picked up 868 hitting spotting points so far. And the T-71's making a quick dash for the dip. And the rounds are going in on him. Oh yeah, and he's in a platoon at the moment with another AMX 1357 and he managed to do some damage to that T-71. Will they get him before he gets into the dip? I think he's going to be safe in a second. Yep, he's safe. Now it looks like it's Leethalstylesz is the only one who's going to then be able to finish that T-71 off. Unless somebody's brave enough to go down the dip after that T-71. And some damage is going in on the enemy. Yep, he's picking up some more points. He's now up to 2.5k of spotting damage already. 2,554. And remember, for every 2 points that his team score on the enemy, he's going to pick up half of the points in spotting assist. So it's extremely lucrative for anyone, because you'll pick up a lot of assistance by helping the enemy be spotted, by or helping your team to spot the enemy. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of enemy tanks making their way over on the southwest corner of the map. 2 Type 4 Heavies trying to get up past the water, and if they can get into the dip, then they're going to be very difficult to dislodge. And he's using his T-key on them, but the team are not putting in enough damage. Mainly because they don't have enough heavy tanks nearby to do the damage. That was an Arty round went in. Okay, he's reloaded APCR so he can do some damage himself. He might have to. No, both tanks managed to get into the dip, but they did take a lot of damage in the process. And he's now up to 3,500 spotting. And we've got a Pershing making a dash down the river edge. And he's got behind the rock for protection. Now it should be, they should be able to shoot him from the just over the cliff. If that Pershing comes this way, Leethalstylesz might have to make a dash for it. There's a Wizzy 120 up there. But I think he's being spotted by the Malshan. But he's picking up more spotting damage. He's now up to 4.5k. He needs to highlight that Pershing by using his T-key. That might direct the Arty to fire at that Pershing. His teammate in the AMX 1357 is moving up on the cliff area so he can shoot at the Pershing. In fact, he's fairly mobile, that one. He's already completed his mission. His mission was to cause at least 3,000 hit points of spotting damage, and he only needed 3,000 hit points. He's already got 4,999, and the secondary mission was enable your allies to cause damage to 4 vehicles by destroying their tracks or spotting them. So he's completed that. He only needs to win in order to complete that mission, which is LT-15, the Aggressive Recon Specialist. And that's a great fun mission to do. I've loved doing that one. Wizzy1201 at the back there. He's now up to 5,266 hit points of spotting damage. There's a standard B going up by the river. Now up to 5,600 damage. There the LTG moving up through the dip. And Arty rounds are going in. You can see the stun on those heavy tanks. Oh, our own T-28 prototype just took a big hit. But we're the only ones who effectively are spotting these tanks. So we are now pitting up spotting damage from tanks that are behind us as well as in front of us. This is very dangerous territory. He's now up to 7,183 hit points of spotting damage. Remember, half of that he will pick up in the way of experience points. He's now auto-aimed at the Type 4 Heavy. And there's the Standard B, who's basically a one-shot for anyone. He's now up to 8,258 hit points. This is a phenomenal score. And basically he's the only one spotting these tanks. Ouch. Now that Type 4 just took out our P-43 Tur. If he was to reveal himself right now, he would be in a world of trouble. He's got 3 enemy tanks in close proximity to him. An LTG, a Pershing and a Type 4 Heavy. And the Type 4 is taking a lot of damage. He's just been stunned by the Arty. He's now almost a one-shot for Leethalstylesz' gun. And that LTG just took a hit. And the Pershing's not moving up, which is funny because he should be moving up at this point. But it may be that he doesn't want to get shot by the T-54 and the AMX 1357. And he almost thought about moving there. He's worried about that Pershing behind him. But both the enemy tanks, well, one of the enemy tanks, the LTG hasn't been seen for a while. I think that's because he's badly damaged. And that Pershing, well, he's moving up to spot. And he's taking damage. Leethalstylesz has now got 8,712 hit points of spotting damage. Half of which will belong to him when he wins this game. And the scores are even, 9 apiece. That means there's only 6 left on each team. Now that Pershing is a 2-shot, I think, at least. But he is now tracked and in position. And he's been wiped out! That was the GW Panther claiming the kill. And he's moved out of his spotting position with 9,063 hit points of damage, and now he's going after that LTG. He's locked on, dialing in, and he finishes him. 45 hit points. There's only 4 enemy remaining. There's 6 on his team. All he's got to do now is kill the Lurva, the Wizzy120, and it's just 2 Arty. And he's teamed up with his platoon mate. And it's Boomtech. And a pair of 1357s is a nightmare for most players because they're so rapid fires. They rapid firing tanks rather. If you get a pair of these near you and they're enemy tanks, then it's all but over because there's not much you can do. You just try and pick one of them to kill, but the other one's going to get you for sure. If you can get hold of an AMX 1357, do try, because it's a lot of fun. I've had one for a while. I just got it recently. Some of them were given out as prizes for the grand finals a while back, and they actually had a stripe on them which identified them as belonging to the grand final specialists. But they are tremendous fun, because, you know, 7 shots from a 57mm gun with really good penetration. They can be very, very deadly to the enemy. Now BoomTech's moving forward to try and spot the enemy. There's one of them. It's the Lurther. Okay, he's moving this direction. Now Leethalstylesz is loaded with APCR, but he didn't reload, so he's only got 5 rounds in. No, he's got 7 rounds in the chamber. There's the FV207, and he's asking for fire support on him. There's the Lurther. Not sure he was spotted there. He's going to try and use the bush mechanic. And he pecks away at the Lurther and kills him. So he's claimed his second kill. The FV207 goes down. He was taken out by the SU-100M. That means, oh, he hasn't reloaded. He needs to reload. There's only one enemy left, the Wizzy-120. But he needs to pop a reload. He's only got 1 shell in the chamber. Yeah, he's noticed it now. It's got a 14.39 second reload because he's using coffee, premium consumable. Speeds up the crew. Normally it'd be about 15 seconds, but he's got it down to 14.39. And we're still looking for that Wizzy. Now somebody's indicating he's actually in grid square B4. So he might have sneaked around the outside and got back to the enemy cap area. So BoomTech's got into the cap. And if everyone gets into the cap right now, it'll be over fairly quickly. Okay, we're all going to cap together. Leethalstylesz is getting into the bush. I must say that is probably the most obvious place that I would fire at if I was to get back and have to get a reset. I'd fire at the bushes. But it looks like BoomTech is actually hiding behind Leethalstylesz at an angle, presuming that the that Wizzy-120 is actually going to go to grid square F7 or F6. And the SU-100's moved into the cap, and it's all going to be over very quickly now. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Oh, the SU-100 did receive a round from the 120, but it's all over. He failed to reset the cap sufficiently, and all he got was 1 shot on the SU-100M, and he did fire at the bush, and it worked. But it didn't reset completely, and here's the end of battle results. It's a first-class tanker for Leethalstylesz in the AMX 1357. He also picked up a spotter badge for getting more than 1,000 hit points of spotting damage. In fact, actually, it was a huge amount. I'll wait until I see exactly how much he managed to get in the end. But he also picked up a patrol duty for spotting at least 6 enemy tanks and being the only one spotting them when they took damage. So let's have a look and see exactly what actually happened during that battle. Well, he didn't get the highest amount of damage. He was well down the table. He only managed to get 95 hit points of damage during that battle. But he didn't actually get any kills either because he was 0. The highest scorer was actually BoomTech. He managed to get 3 kills on his team, followed by the GW Panther. He also managed 3 kills, but it looks like he was taken out maybe by the Wizzy-120. Yes, it was the Wizzy-120 who killed the GW Panther. But when it came to base experience points, it's Leethalstylesz right at the very top, 1,489 base experience points, but he still didn't get an ace tanker, and that just goes to show the standards required to get an ace tanker on the 1357. You really need to be good. You need to do an awful lot of damage and get an awful lot of spotting in order to get such a medal. But let's have a look at the detail report. He fired only 7 rounds during that battle. He got 3 direct hits, 1 penetration, did damage of 95 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He spotted 8 of the enemy, so he was just 1 tank short of getting a scout medal. But he also managed to damage 1 of the enemy, but he didn't get any kills. but he did spotting assistance damage of 9,063 hit points. And of course that meant that his experience was incredibly high, even though he didn't do a lot of damage. He enabled his team to do a lot of damage. He also managed to get 43 capture points by sitting in the bush, in the cap. He earned 119,016 credits for that battle, and after ammunition resupply, remember he did fire APCR, but he didn't fire that much, and also used coffee and croissant premium consumable. He still took away 79,416 credits. He received 2,234 XP, plus he had a personal missions payout of 1,117, a premium vehicle bonus of 447, and also 112 XP for playing in a platoon when he entered the battle. So he picked up a total of 3,910 XP altogether. So a particularly worthwhile battle, and I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that. And he got all the spotting he wanted by just sitting in that bush and watching the enemy as they were hit by his team. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.